Okay, we're back from that exciting press conference.
Absolutely thrilling to go to the Ocean Place Hilton like that and see the amount of media from all across the globe.
Really a phenomenal helicopter ride over. I appreciate the accommodations. Me and Norman were discussing that, and you know, the phones are definitely ringing off the hook over here, so I'm sure we're going to have to get to that right now.
As a matter of fact, we got the opponent of the Fountain of Youths, Captain Jack Jemal in here. Jack.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
How are you, Jack?
Speak up, caller.
Excellent. I'm doing great.
All right. What do you think? Were you surprised Abie Saka chose your franchise?
I'm actually a little surprised, but I definitely make sense. You have the unknown that, in my opinion, is the best, one of the best teams out of the four choices. I told Haas they weren't as good as when they were 8-0, but they certainly weren't as bad when they went into the season 2-6. And deep down inside, they were the one team that we feared as a matchup.
You're gonna have to talk a little louder, caller, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll pull from a different. Here we go. Sorry.
We're having a bad connection with this caller. Please call back because we do want to talk to you. Call back from a landline if you can. He's gonna call back. Very happy people in the unknown organization and Mabadev because I get to play each other instead of having to deal with what I think is the best team of the four in Fountain of Youths right now.
Oh, 100%. They don't have to deal with Abie Saka. Now they got a hittable pitcher, and now it's just going to matter of who's going to be able to score first. We have Lee from Lakewood on the air. Lee, you're on the air.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
I couldn't help but notice when you went through the All-Star roster that there are 3 first basemen on the All-Star squad. Sabon, Sammy Towell, and Elliot Batesh. Just was wondering who is going to be starting and, who's really most deserving and just your thoughts. Sabon, we'll start with you.
Well, I mean, as always, these guys will be playing back up to me. I think the numbers speak for themselves. Also, being the host and captain of my team and host of the show, I think I'm deserving of that honor. I believe Elliot Batesh will take the full-time role as coach and third base coach, and I'd definitely be happy to split time with Sammy Jemal over there.
Sammy Towell.
I mean, I'm sorry, Sammy Towell, and we'll have an even game going in.
Why, caller? Do you have an issue with any specific pick? Do you think?
No issue at all. I think it was the only position.
Well, if memory serves me right, as the acting captain of the All-Stars last year, I believe you left Sammy Towell off the team. Am I correct in that assessment?
No, that's not correct. We won't get into that, but I appreciate the input and Sabon.
We won't get into that.
Can't wait for Wednesday.
All right, so Lee, what do you think going up against Abie Saka?
I can't wait. I'm excited. I love Abe. We won Killer Zeke together, and I think our teams match up very, very well together. I think on paper, both games match up very, very well together. So I think it's going to be great.
All right, it should be exciting. It's a short series, so that game 1 is a very big game, and I guess the big key is Leo. It's gonna be.
I would like to ask Lee. Let's get some predictions from the callers, especially the people that are playing in these games. Lee, how do you see the outcome? I mean, obviously, I don't see you going against your own team, but do you look at a 2-game sweep? I mean, do you feel it's going to be an easy time? Let's get your assessment here.
I can see the series easily going 3 games. I think the fact that each game is split up with a lot of time in between, going Wednesday, Friday, and then Friday, I think it could play in team favors. It's a different format than we've had previously with the fast day in between, but I can see the series easily going 3 games.
Your prediction, caller. Your prediction.
On Leo Cashin.
Okay. 3 games. He likes insane in 3. Lee, Let me just get a quick reaction from you when you heard Abie Saka say that he wants to play insane. Were you surprised, or did you sort of expect that?
I sort of expected it. I think his team, he has a good team, but as far as, if you look at all his games, they're pretty much low-scoring games, and I think the other two teams that were out there are, powerhouse teams, and I think we just match up well together, and I respect his decision. I think it was a good one.
Okay, caller, thank you for
very
calling
much.
in.
All right, guys.
And we have thank you. We have a very special guest who just came into the studios. Captain, General Manager, Player Personnel of
Mabonef.
Morris Casson in the house.
Which way? Here we go.
It's going to be a tight squeeze. whoa, man.
Having some studio malfunctions.
That's just some friendly captain banter. Sabon throwing the weaklings around.
All right.
Morris, I'm sure you were pretty happy to see that you were not playing the Fountain of Youths and you got the draw of the unknown organization.
Well, to be honest,
in the microphone, please.
Sorry. To be honest, yes, at the same time, they're hot. We don't want to play the hot team. That's the ideal. That's what you'd expect me to say. To be honest, I'll play any team, anywhere. I'm very confident in my pitching, my fielding, my hitting. We're playing lights out right now, so I'm very happy, and I'll take anyone any day of the week.
How has the acquisition of John Eliezer changed the fate of your team?
Well, John Eliezer has been. It's tough to say, because when you lose a guy like Gabe Abadi, it's hard. It's tough on the team, and especially when I had a week play the unknowns where had 8 guys, I had to play shortstop because Eliezer couldn't make it. So now when he comes in, he goes 3 for 21 in his first 3 weeks, and then last week he went 7 for 8 with 2 homers, and he came around. The guy plays a stellar field, and he's good. He's a good clubhouse guy. Also,
the only problem with Eliezer, he has transportation issues.
Right, the camel probably can't make it all the way from Brooklyn here on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how Haber gets here, so it's a tough
Well, as long as there's Tahina at the end of the travel, we'll be here.
Right.
Now, let me ask you a question. If you were the number 3 seed and you got the choice of who you would play, would you have picked anybody else but the unknowns? Would you have gone with Insane, or?
I probably would have gone with Insane just because we have and I guess a nice little history against them. When we swept them in the last week. So I probably would have gone with Insane, but at the same time, who wants to pitch to Moshama? So
Right.
All right,
I guess
so
Zach has no problem.
Let's hold that thought. We have a caller here, Douglas from Sherman Avenue. Douglas, you're on the air.
Yes, loving the show. I got a question. The playoff game and the All-Star game are both scheduled for July 4th. So I'm hearing that the Ocean Township is canceling fireworks displays. The village has been canceling the fireworks displays as well to accommodate the fans that want to visit the game. The question I had is, where is the date, not the date, but the times and the location of the All-Star game and the playoff game?
Well, since you're not on the All-Star team, you don't really need to concern yourself with that, but we're finalizing with the transportation department as far as where the playoff game is going to be.
Unfortunately, it's very complicated with traffic patterns and
and
all
being 4th of July also, it's
And water main breaks.
right, exactly, the water issue.
The playoff game before the All-Star game or after the All-Star game?
The playoff game will be in the morning. The All-Star game will be late in the afternoon.
Okay.
But the logistics department, the YMSL logistics department is already on it, and they will send an email to all league members by tomorrow.
Yes.
I'd like to just note that if I had to play, we wouldn't need fireworks because Mount Sabon could have erupted, but luckily the fireworks are back on, and rumor has it that Red will be chauffeuring people from field to field, and plenty of food and drink will be served. Get there before Edmund.
One other thing I'd like to say is to my captain Sabon, that very proud to be on the team with you. It's, I've been the captain the last 2 seasons. Didn't make the playoffs as a captain. It's a lot different being a captain. Last year you had a little bit of a harder time, but to see what you've done this year, putting the team together, and the lineup that you put together, and yourself hitting the way you're hitting behind Allie, every time they walk, Allie puts a little bit more on you to do more, and you come through every time. So I'm very proud to be part of the Sabon Saturday organization, and riding with you guys, Allie, and the rest of the team.
Douglas, you're in the lineup. Don't worry about it. You don't need to.
I'm sure he appreciates the kiss on the eyeball, but
Douglas,
The truth is, you gotta hand it to him.
Okay, we handed it. Dougie, if you if you were the
I'm being
captain,
interrupted from a career 120 hitter from my right. So let me start by saying, Norman, stick to the Jemal organization where 200 average is the norm. But to my fellow second baseman and triple backup pitcher, I appreciate the commentary. And your comments will be well noted, and I believe you will be starting second base and hitting 6th once we come back from our bye week.
Douglas, if you were the captain and you've been a captain, who would get who would start in the playoffs?
The truth is, I agree with my captain there. You got to see who the opponent is and what the matchup is. Because Morabia did have very good weeks against some of the opponents, so we're going to have to wait and see who he's like.
Douglas, how does it make you feel to see 2 relegated players that were in your doghouse last year thriving in a playoff situation in Ezra Tabelli and Nathan Batesh?
I think we made them what they are, I had to dump them up, and, this is what happens. This is what happens. It's like Rocky, when they put Rocky in the meat outfit to meet the steak, to punch the steak.
You put him in at the expense of Victor Dweck.
I made them what they are today.
You put him at the expense of Victor Dweck, who's playing golf this offseason.
Yeah.
Victor had a good year, by the way.
Yeah, Victor played well.
All right, winning endorsement for your son over there.
And then Morris Catson, good luck.
Douglas,
Thank you.
Congratulations. We'll see you soon. All right, Douglas Dweck.
We got to get better
mellow.
screeners for the phone calls.
Yes, very mellow, Douglas Dweck, and taking credit for the success of Nathan Batesh and Ezra Tabelli.
And Sabon, a lot of nice things he had to say about you.
Well, when you start off as the underdog and you bring the team to a high level and get a bye, I think I'm well deserving of some of my players giving a little ass kissing once in a while.
Very good. Okay.
All right.
We'll hear what Jackie Boab has to say about you in around 2 weeks from now.
All right.
We'll get him on
Kiss
the phone,
Moses'
huh?
ass anytime you want. All right. So now let's do the predictions on on the first round. Abie Saka's Fountain of Youth versus Insane, as we talked about. I think, as Abie mentioned, it's going to be a very low-scoring series.
What happened to Jack Jemal? He never called back. I guess he never got through. I wanted to ask him some questions about his team, but I guess we're going to have to make the predictions without all the information. That's fine.
I think it's going to be a great series, and I do think it's going to go 3 games, but I do think Fountain of Youth is going to pull it off in a very tight, low-scoring contest.
Thing with Insane is, and this is a couple years now, when you think they're out, they somehow find a way to win the game. And we said it in the beginning of the year. Were they boring with the same roster and they had to trade for Jaime Shama to get more of the same people? Yes, very boring. But their infield of Jack at third, Morris at short, Lee at second, and Stephen Batesh at first. That defensive infield is phenomenal. And always facing Morris is scary. So I got to give Insane a game. But at the end of the day, the difference is Abie Saka.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, you know what you're getting with Abie. You don't know what you're getting with Leo. He could be good. He could be a rat.
And Leo had a great game against the Marlins this past week.
Shutout.
And when we get to next week, we'll talk more about the Marlins. But Jeffrey Saka is quoted as saying to all his Marlins players, he is very concerned about the lack of offense over there. We'll get to that next week. For the prediction right now, I will take Insane losing in 3.
This is a tough call for me. Both very tough opponents. My team had tremendous success against Abie's team, but that was early in the season. We swept them. I did not like facing Mo Shama's team. We did split with them, but we got lucky in game 2. even though I gotta give Abie the nod as being the top pitcher going into the playoffs, I am gonna go against you guys.
Wow,
Go with the insane organization, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Even though Abie made a great move as a captain and a GM, picking up David Harari. If you look at the history of this guy as their top go-to guy, their number 4 hitter, he does not produce in the playoffs. A professional RBI man and a great regular season player, but I'm willing to bet, and when we all rejoin together in a couple of weeks and we look at these numbers, the stats will show that David Harari specifically did not come through when they needed him. And I love the guy.
Okay.
And I'm
That
not
being
saying,
said,
I'm just saying the playoffs, everything gets much harder.
Yeah.
And I see very low scoring games, but they specifically got this guy to be their savior, because other than him in their lineup, if they still had what they had originally, I don't even think they're in this position. The guy had 28 ribbies on the season. Edmund batted 100. Bottom line is, it's in Harari's hands. I'm just going with the numbers, and I'm going to say that history is going to stay pat, and we're going to not have the biggest series out of him, and it's going to harm them. If I'm wrong, Harari's going to have a giant series, and they're going to take it, but I'm going to go with the insane organization.
Well, I hope Harari's watching, because we will be keeping a at-bat by at-bat record of what's going on here, because that's a very bold statement. You're saying this guy does not come through in the playoffs, and we will watch him by the at-bat, because if he doesn't come through for that team, Fountain of Youth is in trouble. And then everyone's going to question Abie Saka. Why do you go against Insane and Marty Jemal and Morris and all this? It's all going to come back.
And I'd like to also note, it's hard going against Mo Shama in the playoffs. It's one guy on their team, but somehow he knows how to rally these guys together in a quiet way.
Yeah, and he elevates his game.
Right, and he gets them.
Plays that are incredible.
Yep.
Mars, what do you think of this first round matchup?
Having played Abie early this season, and I haven't got to experience pitching or playing against David Harari, who has been having what some may say an MVP type season. I think David Harari was on my radar from the beginning of the draft. I wanted him. He went, couldn't get him. I think while you're saying he might be the X factor, I think bottom line it comes down to Leo Casson. If he's gonna throw strikes, they're gonna win. They're gonna win that series in 3. It's going to 3 regardless. That's what I think. I think if Leo can pitch consistent strikes, if he can limit his walks, I gotta give it to Insane. But otherwise, Abie Saka might be too much for them to handle.
Wow, that's good. Actually, that's enough said about that series. Let's go. We got Joe Cheer, the captain, general manager, the unknowns on the air. Joe, you're on the air.
Hi, what's going on, guys?
Hi, you got to speak up a little bit, Joe. I know obviously you're a little distraught from the end of the season performance, but what do you think facing Malbadev now?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a good last week for us. We just didn't play well all around the board, but I'm actually happy with the news. Nothing against Malbadev, nothing against Insane. I just didn't want to play Abie Saka in the first round. I think we have the pitching edge for both on the team, so I'm confident they didn't have their full squad last game, but they're a good team. But I think we're going to come through and hopefully make a run.
Well, there's the headline right there. Happy with the news of facing Malbadev, as the captain of Malbadev sits right next to us, and he's taken aback by that statement. So
I know how good Malbadev is.
Yeah, he knows.
All right, Joe, obviously yesterday was like a dismal performance all around offensively. The offense was good defensively, and the pitching is a mess. What do you think of Ralph Hannon's situation now going into the playoffs? And do you think, obviously he walked off the field yesterday. Do you think he can rebound in time for the first round?
Honestly, I really don't think much of it. Peppers was a team yesterday. We really didn't play well. Me, myself, I totally blew a fly ball in center field, which I make 100 out of 100 times. And we should all have bad performances. Things will look out of hand. But, we're a team, and I know Ralph can come out and compete. We're all ready to compete. We really like
Joe, it seems like you're trying to just hope this issue fixes itself. Are you sure that's the right way to do it, or are you guys going to call a team meeting? Or because you guys are in a major tailspin of epic proportions. You guys lost 6 of 8 games. You were 8-0. We were comparing you to some of the best teams in the history of the YMSL. And it seems like you guys are just doing nothing and letting it just slip away. Is that the plan?
We really don't see it that way. We're confident now in the guys. I mean, we definitely didn't play well at the end. We faced 2 great pitchers in Abie and Abie Saka. We couldn't really get a win or 2 out of there. We lost some momentum. And,
You're forgetting Moses and Johnson.
We're confident we can do really one thing about our team. I really know that we're really good versus pitchers, and there's nothing really against Mikey Shannon, but we're not facing Abie against Saka and on behalf of Canada.
All right, Joe, and thanks for the call, and
Thank you,
good
Joe.
luck in the first round, and I'm sure your team's going to rebound and get it together, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Okay.
I don't give that team a shot, honestly.
Really?
I really don't. I think
Wow.
Mabadev's peaking at the right time, and they have the veterans with Big Sawley, Elliot Batesh, and Eliezer, and even Albert Levy playing outstanding right field, and Leo. And I think Mike is going to do enough to get the job done. And I just think Ralph Hannon, I don't know if really right now has what it takes mentally to take his team to the next round. So I'm picking Mabadev maybe even in 2 games.
Wow. Sabon, what do you think?
You know what? 2 very tough teams here. I like what Bobby said about the experienced players on the Mabadev organization, stemming with Elliot Batesh and Sawley and now Morris and now getting Eliezer. But let me tell you something. We're forgetting that this team came in 4th place. They had a winning record. They were 8-0. The experience factor is going to be tough with them, but do we really see Mikey Shalom leading that team past Hannon if they could get it together? It's a toss-up for me. I mean, not that Shalom can't do it. He's great, and he has a great field and hitting behind him, but I think if these young guys could keep Hannon in control, they certainly have the offense to score a lot of runs off him. You know what? I'm gonna go with Mabadev on this one.
Oh,
And
good.
go against what I'm saying only because I saw yesterday them crack under the pressure, and let's see what happens if Shalom. I'm hoping Shalom could take the team to the next level.
I am very torn by the minute on who to pick in this game.
That's why I just.
This is a guy's been
That's why I deferred to you, by the way.
And that's why I totally just gave the inclination.
Bashing the unknown organization.
I've been bashing, but both teams hate me because I pick against them each week. But the truth is, Mabadev I saw them very early in the year, and they were not good very early in the year. I think they'll even say that. So I think you got to go with the momentum. They're getting better as the playoffs are approaching, and the unknowns. I don't know. I don't even know which roster is really better. I really don't know who to pick here. It's definitely a 3-game series, I think. I think the unknowns are in a tailspin and will not be able to get it together. I'm going to go with Mabadev also. And I think both teams are lucky to be playing each other because I don't think either team would beat Fountain of Utes, and I don't think either team would beat Insane either.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you really,
Yeah, I think they're lucky that Abie Saka picked Insane. I think everyone's lucky Abie picked Insane except Insane.
Yeah,
I agree, because when it comes time for my team to jump back into the game, one of those teams is going to be out, and it's one less team that I really wanted to face down the road.
Right.
So,
well, that's about it as far as breaking down the matchups. Now let's got to see the action on the field and see what happens. And once again, you know, it's going to be an unbelievable postseason that always usually goes the distance every round, no matter how the matchups turn out. So we'll see how our predictions come afloat next week. And so once again, Wednesday is opening day for the opening round for the Fountain of Utes versus Insane. And Friday afternoon is going to be game 1 of the Unknowns versus Malbadev. And it'll be game 2 of the Fountain of Youth as well. And then Sunday we're off, and next Friday we'll continue the series. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see you all next week, and then unbelievable show.
Thrilling press conference.
And I would like to tell everybody to come and support the YMSL All-Stars on Wednesday afternoon at 5:30 at Monmouth University, a beautiful facility. Sabon's old stomping grounds that broke the record there at the Monmouth Hawks league over there.
Cheerleader squad.
So once again, it's Wednesday All-Star game versus Fountain of Youth versus the Brooklyn League, and around 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, Fountain of Youth's game 1.
Beautiful.
All right, and we look forward to seeing everybody out there.
All righty.
Good.